Hello, everyone. My name is Maio Nishkian. I am sharing today about dog-powered hunting in the Susitna River Watershed. And this picture is in front, that's Avuk and Ivuk. And then in back, that's me and some of my friends and my partner with a caribou that my partner got. And we pulled out a little ways with the dog team. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about this hunt and other hunts a little bit later. But to get started, just want to tell you a little bit about myself. Like I said, my name's Maio Nishkian. I live in Kinnick, kind of between Kinnick and Point McKenzie, in our cabin up here. We live off the grid, and I live on my partner's family's land with my partner. And as you can see in the bottom right corner, we have a bunch of sled dogs, and they are incredible. We love them like family. Right now we have 10, so it's a very manageable number. In the bottom left corner, that's me and my partner on our fishing boat. So we commercial fish in Bristol Bay at a Pilot Point in the summertime, and we own the fishing operation. So that's kind of how we make our living. The rest of the year we work part-time, and then just focus a lot on the dogs and just all the work it takes to live in a off-the-grid cabin. I was born in California. I was raised in Montana, and then I moved up to Alaska about 10 years ago. Before we get started, I just wanted to do a land acknowledgement. And my partner and I live on Dena'ina Athabascan land, and which is in the Susitna River Watershed. We garden on that land. We get our firewood off that land. We trap on that land and around that land. And then most of our hunting we do is on Otna Athabascan land. So this has become a really important part of not only our lives, but our hunting style, acknowledging that the reason that this land and the animals exist in the beautiful way that they do today is due to the indigenous people that have stewarded this land for thousands of years. So we owe so much to them, and also really have to take into consideration our impact as non-Alaska Native colonizers on this land. So like I said, specifically, we hunt on Otna Athabascan land. These are some pictures from some of my friends, and also some older pictures of hunting from the Chicxulub tribe, tribal citizens. And obviously, living off the land and subsistence has been being done for thousands of years. There's so much that we can learn from Otna people, from Dena'ina people, from Alaska Native folks in general, not only on how to subsist in a sustainable way, but also how to do it in a respectful way to the land and to the animals, and also how to do it in a respectful way for Alaska Native folks as we live and hunt on their traditional lands. So this is a picture I found of the Susitna River Watershed, and honestly, I hadn't really thought about the fact that we live in this watershed. So this is a picture of the Susitna River Watershed, and honestly, I'd never really thought about where we live in terms terms of watershed. So I found this map really interesting, and it's just really easy to see from here how a dam on this incredibly long and large river would affect every part of this watershed, not just the water, but the land and the animals and the people. So I really enjoyed looking at this map and just getting some perspective on how much we do and how much I know other people do in the Susitna watershed. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the community harvest that we do. It is a subsistence hunt and subsistence harvest. It was originally created for Otna people, which we didn't really know when we first started doing this hunt, but my partner did a lot of research about it. And it was created for Otna people by Otna people. So it's based on a lot of traditional values. And this was kind of a way to have reparations for all the trauma around Otna people not being allowed to hunt in their traditional way, getting arrested for hunting in their traditional way. And then, of course, some non-native hunters sued the state, saying that it was racist for this hunt to exist only for Otna people. So now it is open to everyone. And again, we didn't really know and understand this until a little bit later on, but now knowing it, we try to do it in the most respectful way possible, educate other people about this hunt and the history behind it. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. But some of the criteria for the harvest is a long-term consistent pattern of use and reliance, taking in specific seasons during each year, use characterized by efficiency and economy of effort and cost. So we're not going to spend $30,000 on a hunting rig to go hunt. We're going to try to carpool as much as possible, really trying not to base hunting off of wealth. Handling, preparing, preserving, and storing meat in a traditional way. And a lot of that is within the criteria. You're not allowed to leave certain parts of the animal behind. So you can't bone out the animal. You have to take all the bones with you. You have to keep all the organ meat. You have to keep the hide. So it allows people, or kind of forces people to have to use every part of the animal, which is really awesome. Handing knowledge down from generation to generation, so important to continue teaching young people how to hunt, but also how to hunt in a respectful and traditional way. Distribution and sharing is huge. So you're not going out hunting just for meat for yourself. You're going out and hunting for elders. You're going out and hunting for youth. You're very giving with your meat in a sharing way, which is much more traditional than our Western society now. And then a subsistence reliance on wide diversity of fish and game. So not just becoming a part of this community harvest to get one type of animal or one specific tag. You're really relying on subsistence year-round. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about sharing and teaching future generations. These are pictures from the Yani Da'a school, which is a Otna school. It is run by the Chickaloon tribe. And I used to work there as a teacher. And now I'm continuing to be involved with the community. We bring in caribou every year. This was actually pictures from somebody else that brought in an animal. But teaching youth how to process animals, how to be self-sufficient, and also how to be respectful to the animal, how to hunt in a sustainable way. So this is, for our hunt and for our harvest, this is part of our way of giving back to the community, not only because it's right to teach youth how to hunt, but also we are non-native people hunting on native land. This hunt was created for Otna people. The fact that we can participate in this hunt is because of a lawsuit. So in order to write that in our viewpoint is to give back to community. So not only do we donate to the Yanida'a school, we also donate to the Chicxulub tribe for their Elders Lunch program, and we also donate to Atna Incorporated. Okay, so here's some pictures from our winter hunts. This is actually all from one hunt, our first hunt. I only had 3 sled dogs at the time, so they didn't carry that caribou very far, but it was an introduction for us to winter hunting with a dog team. Now, usually what we do is we run into our base camp, which is about 13 miles in. Other people are skiing, and we set up camp. Then we go up and down the valley every day and with the dog team. And usually we park the dogs with a picket line, so they're all on their necklines out in a picket between 2 trees, and we leave them there while we go up into the mountains to look for caribou. This hunt, we got lucky. There was caribou right in the valley, so we didn't have to hike at all. And our dogs, Avuk, Ivuk, and Freddie, and then Fernie's the little sheepdog in the corner who doesn't pull very much, but yeah, just beautiful winter hunting. This is from the same valley, different trip. So as you can see on the pictures on the right, this is where we're hiking up to look for caribou. We realized very quickly that caribou are a lot faster than us in the snow. So it's very different than fall hunting. So we're still in the learning process. It's a lot of fun. On the left, that's our big team that we have now, and just a beautiful day. Really enjoying being out there. And for us, hunting isn't just about getting meat. It's also about spending time on the land and all the other things that I've talked about. So it's just a really special thing to be able to do it with the dogs. And the bottom left, that's where we stay, and the dogs are all set up with their straw beds for the night. And yeah. Then fall hunting, also super fun. We hunt in a non-motorized area, so no motor vehicles are allowed. This 4-wheeler is an old 4-wheeler our friends gave us. We ripped the motor out, and that's our cart for our fall hunting. So we have a trailer on the back. The dogs pull us on the cart and the trailer out to camp. We set up camp. We hunt from our base camp. We hike around, and then if we get lucky and get caribou, then the dogs help us haul it back out. So originally my partner had done this hunt with bicycles with groups of friends, and then 3 or 4 years ago is when I started bringing in the dog team. So it's been a lot of fun, a lot of learning. This is the beginning of the dogs training season, so it's a really nice way to start getting them in shape, because all summer they've just been going for walks and not doing much. So yeah, these are more pictures from fall hunts. Of course, when we're going out hiking, we're packing everything out on our backs and using a lot of human-powered labor to get it out. Occasionally, we do have the dogs come up with their little backpacks, and we can put the hide or the organ meat into their backpacks, and they help take a little bit of the weight. Just super beautiful, really special time of year. I wanted to talk a little bit about a specific hunt that we did this past fall. It was our WTF-NBQ hunt. So that's women, trans, femme, non-binary, queer folks hunt. The reason I decided I wanted to do this was because in hunting culture, it's typically very gendered. So there's a lot of male hunters. There's a lot of male ego around hunting, and it's usually a space that a lot of people who don't identify as male don't feel that comfortable in. And in our community, that's not been the case. But I really wanted to be specific about this hunt, focusing on empowering non-male people, teaching non-male people how to hunt, about gun safety. And we just had such an incredible trip. We started talking months in advance, focusing on building trust within the group, building community within the group, and also recognizing that we're hunting on Indigenous land, we're hunting on stolen land. How do we do this in a good way as a majority non-Native group? And we got a lot of help from our amazing Indigenous sisters through that process. And it was just incredible. It was unlike any hunt I had gone on, because we were focusing on hunting and getting meat, but it was much more about our community building with the group. So we'll be doing that again next year. This is just a video of us going down the trail out after we got the caribou. So it just shows how the dog team pulls the cart pretty easily, unless it's uphill. This year they pulled out 4 caribou. Last year they pulled out, I think, 4 caribou and a moose. The year before that they pulled out 8 caribou. So they are so incredible. And we have to make sure that we run them at early times during the day when it's cool, because it can be warmer temperatures during this time of year. It's usually late August to September, but where we hunt, usually it's starting to cool down by this time. So that's a big part of it, is keeping the dogs cool and not overworking them. But they have done so amazing. And then, of course, processing is also a learning experience. Trying to teach people how to process, saving every part of the animal. We do hide tanning. We use all the organ meat to either make scrapple or just to grind in with the burger meat. So, and we really clean the bones like completely. We don't let anything go to waste. And then the bones we use for bone broth. And some of the bones, like there's a certain bone that my friends use to make hairpins. So we're learning more all the time, and it's a really exciting process. So that sums it up for my presentation on dog-powered hunting in the Susitna River Watershed. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. My email is here at the bottom. Maybe you're curious about this hunt. Maybe you're curious about knowing more about the history of this community subsistence hunt. Maybe you want to learn more about how to give back to the community, especially the Indigenous community, as we are hunting on their land. Or if you're curious about the WTF NBQ hunt, anyways, get in contact with me. I know we weren't able to do this live because of some Facebook glitches, but I am around, and email is the best way to reach me. And thanks for listening, and I hope everyone has a good winter and a great rest of your hunting season.